Hello, this is Chris Crawford with Chris Crawford Knives, and I wanted to do a demonstration on a prototype that I've been working on. This is a dual action automatic lock back, model number EDC-DA0, and I've got the parts all ready, and the knife's ready to be put together. But before I assemble the knife, I wanted to let you take a peek inside. I want to show you how this knife works. These are the parts to the knife, and so I'll just make a couple of comments on each one, and then I'll put the knife together. So this is the back piece, the back of the lock bar piece, as well as the leaf spring that throws the blade. So the spring is integral to the back. It's not a drop in. So if the spring breaks, I got to remake the whole piece. I have the rocker. So this is the rocker. So it's got the shield, which is our button. I attached it by, what did I use? Spot welded it in place, and I have a 1/32 inch hole right in there that it rocks on. And so then you got this little sear, and I'm not really sure how much detail you can see here, but hopefully you'll get the idea. The sear has is round to drop in there. Filed part of it off on this side over here to catch the spring, and this side here has a little taper to it that matches the spring taper, which I don't think I mentioned that. The spring has a taper right here, and so those two match. And so when the knife is being cocked, for lack of a better word, when the taper on the spring interacts with the taper on the sear, it pushes the sear, or pushes the lever back so that everything can load. So basically that's the way it works. So there's that. I have a couple of small 5/1000ths of an inch washers that I made. This is the pin for the rocker. This is a 1/32 inch steel pin. Actually, this is the shank of the drill bit that I use to drill the hole in the rocker. So I just break the shank off and use it for the rocker pin. This is the lock bar. Nothing really special about it. It has the integral spring as well. The blade. Now, the thing about the blade is it looks like it's got a pretty good choil, but that's really because when the blade closes, the tip of the sear, as it's coming through the liner, it lands right in that hole right there. And so that's why the choil's as big as it is, to compensate or give room for that. So this is the right hand liner, nothing special about it. The right hand handle or right hand scale, nothing special about it. This is the left hand liner, and there is something special about it. Several things. One, it has the copper tubes here for the pin to go through for the rocker. These are 1/16 inch copper tubes soldered into place there. And also you notice that there's a hole milled or slot milled that goes all the way through. Now on my lever action autos, I don't mill a slot in there because the lever comes up through the handle material. But because I wanted everything hidden under there, I really had to get my lever as thin as I could. And by milling out the liner, it allowed the lever to drop down, into the liner. So it gave me another, whatever the thickness of 1/32 is, it gave me that much more thickness that I could have on my little lever, and so I guess it gave it a little extra strength. So anyway, this right here is just a spring, and so this is the spring that keeps pressure on the rocker, so it keeps it raised and keeps the tooth drop down like that. And then this is my left hand scale. So you can see I've got the slot cut out there for the for the shield. So go in like that, and I'll just go ahead and turn it over, and you can see right there that it's been milled out to accept the tube and the rocker and the little spring there and everything. And so that's the parts. So let's put it together. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my rocker into place, and this can be a bit of a challenge sometime, just getting that little bitty pin in there and getting that hole to line up. All right, so there's my little pin. Maybe I'll get lucky with it. Well, okay, so let's see. Uh-oh. Okay, there it goes. So I push it on in there, and the pin has been trimmed off to pretty much just fit the little tubes there, and then that fits in here, and so that's the next thing. So we'll take the handle and put it on here. This is a prototype. You know, I could put a bolster on here, and I could do the same thing with, you know, bone or whatever handle material I wanted to. But anyway, so there's that side. Start putting some pins in, and these pins are broken off pieces of drill, and I love these things for putting my knives together and fitting up because they're hardened, and you know, they don't mar or anything like that. So, but I will be putting nickel silver pins in here when I get ready to final assemble the knife. All right, so we're going to put our spring in place. Push these up a little bit more, and we'll put a pivot pin in. Put one of our washers on. Put our blade on. Put our other pivot, our other washer. Okay, put our right hand liner, left hand liner. I'm going to just push these pins up a little higher. Okay, and so then we're going to put in our rocker. And see if we can get this rocker pin in. There it goes. Okay, so there it is, assembled. That's how the knife goes together. Now, I'm not going to fire the knife right now. We'll come back and I'll show you that in a little bit. But the reason I don't want to do it right now is because I've already cleaned up my blade, hand sanded it. I got a couple little scratches I see on there, so I'm going to go back and do a little more hand sanding on that. But until the knife's pinned together, this blade is a little bit loose in here. And with the blade loose, I don't want it touching the side as it's flying open and closed and that kind of stuff. So that's as far as I'm going to go right now. I wanted to show you the parts, show you how the knife goes together, and then we'll pick the video up after I've finished doing my final assembly with the nickel silver, doing my final cleanup, and then I have the knife ready to carry. All right, well, here it is, the finished knife. This would be my EDC-DA0 model. Again, like I said, it's a prototype. Really been wanting to make this for a long time. I've had this concept in my mind for a long time for a dual action automatic with a escutcheon or an inlay shield, and that doubles as the button. So you can see, since I was using G10, I was able to grind everything flush. It's a lock back. Pretty happy with the spring. I was picking up some prints from my fingers there because I've had it wiped down real good, but so there it is. It's got a good lock, no side-to-side play. Blade lays centered. And there you go. Press the shield, deploys the knife. When you close the blade, it resets it. Now if you watch closely, you might can see the shield drop, and then come back up. That's when it gets loaded. And so once it gets loaded, it's back in just regular old lockback mode. Then you get ready to fire it. There you go. So I'm really happy with this knife. I really am. I'm excited to have it done. It's been a work in progress, a long time coming, but hopefully I'll be able to replicate this pattern. It was a booger to get this first one done, but from what I learned, maybe I'll be able to make some more. So anyway, that's it. Thank you.